That's yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Matt, here's Coach. The 4 players that we'll have will be Armando, Garrison Brooks, Kerwin Walton, and Caleb Love after Coach.
Okay, guys, the only thing to open it with is very pleased to win a game on Senior Day. That's always been extremely important to me. When I was an assistant here for 10 years, we never lost Senior Day, and 15 years at Kansas, we never lost Senior Day, and we've messed it up and lost 3 of them in the 18 years that I've been here, but it's always extremely important to me to allow those seniors to go out the right way the last game they play in their building, regardless of where it is, whether it's Carmichael, Smith Center, or Allen Fieldhouse. So that was important to me. I thought that one of the greatest things was the start of the game, starting the seniors and Walker Miller to take a charge on the first possession. I've been after our guys all year long. I don't think we do anything close to what we want to do about taking the charge on the defensive end of the floor. I thought early in the game we got off to a great start, to say the least, and we were doing a great job on the backboards and getting some offensive rebound points. And then all of a sudden we quit. I think we only got one. I think Armando got fouled once in the second half. Is the only time we got an offensive rebound score. But we shot the ball in the basket, both halves, 55%. They missed some easy shots early. I thought that was good for us. Really, if I'm looking down there at the stat sheet, the only thing that gets me a little disappointed, again, is the 20 turnovers and the fact that they pressed us and we were way too conservative against the press. I've always felt like I loved it when somebody pressed us so we could attack, and we did not attack. And a lot of that, even though they're 24, 25 games and 83 practices, they're still freshmen, but we were way too conservative and turned it over way too many times against their press. But we did get the break going a little bit. I've looked down, I see the bench points, 73-7. It's a little it's understandable since we had some guys that started today that haven't normally done that. But Garrison 6 for 9, 2 for 3 from three-point line. Again, Kerwin Walton 4 of 7 from three-point line. And I think Caleb's offense in the first half was important to us. And they may have gotten it down to 12 or 13 or something like that. You've heard me before. I don't ever spend time looking at the score. I look at the time, but that's about it. But Caleb made a big drive and made the basket and got a free throw, and it sort of steadied us a little bit. But, it's a win on the last game of the regular season, Senior Day at home, so we're as happy as we can be.
Greg Barnes.
Hey, Roy, was there any particular significance to you kissing the court when you left?
Yeah. We only lost one game there, and I always thought I loved the home arena and what we were doing. And this year the home court was not fans. It was the familiarity of the basket, familiarity with the floor, familiarity with the background, and I'd like to go back over and play that Marquette game again, but it's not like golf. You don't get a mulligan.
Andrew Jones.
Coach, the 26-6 start, you just mentioned something about the rebounding and Walker's charge. It looked to me like the energy was extremely high during that period. What was the most important thing that kind of led to that kind of start?
Well, again, I'll go back and say Walker Miller taking the charge was really big, and they helped us. They missed some shots early and turned it over, but was the score at the game one time 26-6? Were you talking about, Andrew, was that the score at the start of the game?
It was 26-6, I think, just under the midpoint of the half.
Okay, yeah. I didn't realize that. I was ahead, my team was ahead one time when I was coaching at Kansas in the Sweet 16 game, 24-6 to start the game. And John Clockerty was reffing the game, and they found in the Charlotte Coliseum a bolt that was raised up out of the floor about 1.5 inches. And they stopped the game, and one of my mentors was coaching the other team, was Coach Bob Knight. And we walked out on the floor to see what was going on, and they said they were going to stop the game and fix that bolt. And Coach Knight said, could we start the game over with a few other words mixed in there? And so that gave us all a laugh at that time. But again, I knew that we were doing pretty well. I'm not stupid, but I just rather see how we're playing based on what I see as opposed to looking at a scoreboard. Because in the second half, I was not very happy the way we were turning the ball over, but we still, did all right on the score. But I did not know it was 26-6. The enthusiasm of senior day, the enthusiasm of the last game of the year in the Smith Center, the enthusiasm of what you start playing for at this time of year, I think that led to us playing as well as we played. And we know we didn't play very well in our previous game.
Brendan?
Hey, Roy, yeah, you mentioned those 20 turnovers, and yet in the second half it was never even a single-digit game. What does that sort of speak to about these guys' ability to sort of play through it and get out of their own way to some extent?
Well, they need to do a better job of playing through it and getting out of their own way by stop turning the daggum ball over is what it means. And, again, guys, I don't spend a lot of time looking at the score. I've told you that 1,000 times. But if you turn it over 20 times, you're going to lose a lot of games. I don't care if you shoot 55% or not. We caught Duke on a day where guys look down there. They're a better three-point shooting team than we are, and they were 5 for 27. So those kind of things help.
Adam Smith?
Roy, I know you often say, it looks a lot better when the ball goes in the basket, but you hit 8 threes today and got some early to seem to, get you going. Does it seem like for your team in particular that when those shots from three-point range go in, it just seems to open up things more and get you in just sort of just a better rhythm offensively?
Oh, I don't think there's any question that. It's the reason I say that about when the ball goes in, everything looks better. I think Kerwin Walton, when Kerwin makes those threes and he makes some difficult threes, the whole team gets enthusiastic about it. Garrison made 2 today. One of them was a last desperation shot at the end of the shot clock right in front of their bench. But I've always said, guys, I think you need to have a great mix. We need to have guys who can score inside, and we need to be able to have some guys who can make shots from the perimeter, and we need to make free throws. And we got a little bit of a good mix today, and I think that was helpful.
Couple more.
CL?
Roy, you certainly tried to build your team in a way that it would be balanced, but how tough do you think you guys will be to beat in the postseason when you get contributions like this that you did tonight from a little bit of everywhere?
Well, I think that's the reason I like it, because it's hard to focus on one area or one guy. We shoot 55 from the floor, 44 from 3, and 80 from the free throw line, and you're out-rebounding the other team, so the only thing that you did poorly offensively is turn the daggum ball over, and we can't do that. But I've always felt that the best teams were teams that were balanced, that you didn't say, we've got to guard the three-point line or we've got to shut them out inside. Our better teams have always had good balance, but making those shots from the outside, Kerwin again, he's in the back of the room, and he's really going to enjoy talking to you like he always does. But he makes those baskets, and he made one in the first half after he took the ball between his legs that had everybody on my team jumping around. So I'm looking forward to seeing that over again.
Okay, Brian Keys, last one before Kerwin gets in there, please.
Hey, Roy, you talked about it a little bit after the game, but I just wanted to ask, what was the importance of having fans in the stadium and having players' families out for the last game of the season here?
Well, I think, it's pretty easy to figure out. I mean, it's the only time that I did not like it was the last play of the first half. Because the last play of the first half, we had a foul to give, 3 fouls to give, in fact. If they had been going to just play, we were going to use all 3 of them. But they sort of held the ball for the last shot, and I said I do not want to double team, because if we double team, somebody's going to get an open 3. So they double teamed on their own when I'm screaming, no, 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 no. And so that's the only point that I didn't like it. But when you come to play basketball at North Carolina, you talk about or hear former players talking about running through that tunnel and hearing that crowd and getting on the court and seeing that Carolina blue wave out there. And so that's something they've missed. And I think the last 2 games, as I said, it's been the loudest 3,200 crowd I've ever seen in my life. They were enthused about it. The students were great. I think that it helps, and it gives them a little bit of look of what Carolina basketball normally is, and they have not had that this year. And just to let you know, that question didn't upset me. I'm going because Steve has already said this is the last question.
Thank you.
Kerwin, up first.
Kerwin, don't talk too long, son.